The controversial advantage of the boosted accounts, I think, is overrated. There's not a lot of evidence to support one way or the other. I can share with you a couple points that I have, and maybe by the time we get to the end of this, you can help me help the community to figure out really what's going on here. You see, my account is not boosted. I just hit level 68 the other day and I wanted to bring Omega Red up, and I ran out of training materials. So I'm starting to hit that bottleneck with the in-game economy. Now here's the point. If it's happening to me right now on a normal account, that means individuals who are boosted ran into this bottleneck way earlier. So if that's the case and I can't bring my characters up to the maximum of my account level, then once again, people that are moving forward at an accelerated pace are going to have difficulty doing that as well. Not to be lost is the fact that we're also out of ability materials. So I have characters that I'm bringing up, but I can't even power them up. I can't even get to the point that they can use the abilities that make them so strong. So that led me to question, does the boosted account actually have an advantage? Yes, they jump out to an early lead, but is that sustainable? And will I be able to pass them in the long run? Because of how the economy works, I think the boosted account will start to have a taller roster. They're going to have a few teams that are really strong. That definitely will give them an early advantage. That advantage will be most evident in Arena. And that's what people are seeing. They're saying it's not fair. This person's ahead of me in Arena, and they're getting very upset about that. However, we know that Marvel Strike Force has multiple game modes. Arena is not the only one. Although Arena may be the #1 priority, coming up second on that list is raids. And as you progress into the Doom raid and beyond, you go from having 1 team to needing 5 teams that need maintenance and need to be kept up with. Initially, I thought that this was a break-even point for both sides of the account, but in my baby account, I'm scoring in the top 5 for raids, meaning that I still think that I have the advantage on my baby account that's progressing at the normal rate. Any of us that have been playing Strike Force for some time recognize the fact that wide rosters generally give you the most advantage. They really help you to take a bigger bite out of the game, participate in more things, and therefore receive more rewards and resources. For example, priority number 3, Cosmic Crucible. On the offensive side, you need 6 teams, and eventually you'll grow your roster up to 12 teams that you can put on the defensive side. If I'm able to do that and sustain that, I have the advantage. Why is that the case? Well, a boosted player, again, is going to have that tall roster. They're going to have a few teams that are really strong. However, I've gotten to the point where I have 12 teams. So that means I can put teams on defense. I can take advantage offensively of the room rules, defensively of the room rules, and make it more difficult for my opponent. Yes, you might have a strong team. I can get through that with Exhausted. But do you have enough firepower to get through all of my teams? That's the question. That should tip things more in the favor of the traditional player. You have more control, you're able to get more rewards, and it's only going to get worse when we get into other game modes like Alliance War. There we need 10 teams, which I already have covered, and I'm moving towards that 20 teams on defense. And the same thing will occur. You won't just be facing off against shield minions, you'll be facing off against real teams. People say, well, Gid, that doesn't matter, but it does. Even if you don't win the Alliance War, you still want to make sure you can knock opponents out to get the currency, because you need the currency to buy character shards and gear from the war store. Most recently, we saw in tower type systems, a wider roster is definitely the best. Black Knight release, a lot of people were not able to get him because they simply didn't have a wide enough roster. So once again, the traditional method here is probably the best. Scopely is tweaking how the new player experience works, and they do want to accelerate the process. But overall commander level is not the end all be all. You still have to be able to develop your characters. The reason why we're talking about this is because the controversy surrounding the boosted accounts has a psychological impact on players. People feel like they're being left behind. There's a fear of missing out. They don't think it's fair. And we haven't explored the content enough to know really what's happening. So I'm asking for your help to do that. Do you have any data on this? Is your account boosted? I want to know your account level, how long you've been playing, maybe a snapshot of your roster. We can go ahead and perhaps put that over in the player voice under the concept of the same name, or any other Discord chat that you might be involved in. Let's see if we can collect this information and figure this out.